Hello and welcome. Judy Keating here. Can you believe it is almost time for Samhain? I am so excited because the Illuminating Your Soul event continues. And everyone, we have an incredible trio of presenters, if I say so myself, for this last section of our Samhain Illuminating Your Soul. I'm so excited to get to chat with Lauren tonight so that you can get to know her. But Lauren Magana Casanave began her spiritual journey with the path of the 21st century priestess, created by Bonnie Salomon and myself. Inspired by to expand values of self-love, self-care, and connection, she has continued her path as a helper, working as a therapist and advocate for marginalized populations, elders, LGBTQIA, and youth. Lauren's inspiration is her mother, a social worker and a death doula. Lauren is passionate about empowerment and reconnecting with nature's gifts to unlock the divinity that each person holds. If you want to get in touch with Lauren, which I think you might want to do after you talk to her with me, you can reach her at lauren.ana.magana@gmail.com. And if that seems like a mouthful, just go to our website and it's there. Lauren, I am so excited that you are with me this evening.
Thank you. I'm so excited too.
So, um, you're going to be a presenter at our event, and I know a little bit about what you're going to present, but we ask all of our facilitators these three questions to kind of give people an idea. How does aligning with nature help you personally and in your creative and business endeavors?
So, aligning with nature was not even on my radar, important to like my flow of life until I started the priestess journey and realized, oh, yeah, when I go outside, my mood improves by like 85% immediately. Um, which is actually like a therapeutic intervention. And it's something we tell people all the time, you're vitamin D deficient, go outside, touch grass, that kind of thing. So now that I have that kind of predisposition in my life and I know that aligning with nature is important to me, um, I make sure to go outside every day. Sunlight, even if it's sprinkling a little bit, I have my coffee on my porch before work. I'm ready for the day. Something about I live near a mountain, so I try and hike the mountain with my husband as frequently as possible. And just like being present, centering is becoming the center of my life in order to like be able to embrace the present everywhere I am, right? So we have days that are really good, we have days that are really bad. We had the and during those challenges, like feeling grounded, feeling aligned with nature is the most effective way that I feel I've been able to kind of cope and navigate like the journey that I'm on.
Mm, beautiful, beautiful. So being outside has really made a difference for you.
And being purposeful about it, like making sure that I'm not just going outside to be out there. I'm going outside to like be present and make sure that I'm listening to the whisper of the trees. I'm engaging in the sunlight. Like something about it is feeling connected because there's so much. I live in the city, so there's a lot of concrete. There's a lot of barriers to nature and a lot of barriers to being able to connect, and so you have to find it where you find it,
Mm,
and make sure that it's part of your purpose.
beautiful. Beautiful. Now we're in this last quarter of the year, and it's more of a fallow season as we approach Samhain in the northern hemisphere. With that kind of a season, what is one practice or suggestion you give your clients to sort of embrace this time of year?
So the cycles of the year are an amazing and super accessible analogy for people to use for the seasons of life. So during the fallow season, like making sure, so your fields, your inner fields, right? We're cultivating them all year round. We're harvesting. during a fallow point, and this is kind of like a farmer nerd thing, you you sow the field, or I'm sorry, you plow the field, but you don't sow it in order for the field to sit and regain its nutrients before you plant another crop.
Mm,
Um, so to me, that means, in sort of like the farmer's almanac way of thinking, is I had this field, I grew what I needed to grow, I harvested it, and now I let it rest. And same thing with this time of year transitioning kind of into the winter. You're in like your rest and digest hibernation mode, kind of entering that. So a lot of people, because we live such intensely like productive lives and we're always on the go, and to many, a barren field or like the sense of rest comes with a sense of guilt or
mm,
feeling unproductive, feeling purposeless. And so re-identifying this season and a barren but prepared field as
mm.
something that is like a necessary step in the cycle of life is so important to me. And it's my favorite time of year because you can sense kind of like the woods and the animals preparing for their rest, and everything's calming down. The things that were blooming are now kind of coming into decay and restarting their cycle. There's a certain smell to it. So it's just a really good analogy that I tell people, like, it's okay, look upon your field, see that it is barren, and be okay with that.
Beautiful, beautiful. So tell everyone what you're going to be facilitating at Samhain. I am so excited about this.
So I'm very excited to share this part of my culture, this part of my identity. Um, so I have roots in two places. I have roots many generations back from the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. And then I also have Native American roots, which I'm doing more research on. We're thinking Comanche might, there's like a million tribes in the area where my mom's family was, but those two things intersect in kind of like the Texas region that I was born in. So, as a fifth generation Texan, super interesting to see how everyone kind of came together and reached the like Dallas Fort Worth area and the blending of cultures. My grandparents on my dad's side live in El Paso, Texas, which is literally like right on the border to Juarez, Mexico. You can like see from their backyard Mexico across the Rio Grande. It is just like fascinating. And so, like, being that physically close as a kid to my heritage, and it was like just out of reach. Like, we could see it, and Nana would talk about it, and Tata would talk about it, but it was just kind of like, well, we're here now, and we're Americans now. As we grew older, the culture became more important and the past became more important to me as I was like delving in with my family about why we have certain traditions. So, something that I'm going to introduce during the presentation is the idea of the ofrenda, which is an offering space traditionally used in Mexican, Latin cultures to honor the ancestors, where the on the days where the veil is thinnest, right? So think Halloween, but also into like November 1st and 2nd. um there is kind of Catholic connections too, where they used to call it All Saints Day, but the general idea is that the ancestors are visiting us because they can cross over. And so, why would we not invite them with their favorite things? So, part of the ofrenda is first knowing who your ancestors are is a really important piece of this. Not everybody has that privilege, not everybody has that deep connection with family. So, kind of delving into that is important. And then their favorite things. My ofrenda every single year always has cigars, whiskey. It's got pan de muerte, which is a sweet bread that they make. It's got little trinkets of certain people and photos. Photos are an important concept because you want to be able to very accurately kind of picture your ancestor and connect with them. And over the days that the ofrenda is up, Some families leave it up for a long time. Some families just leave it up during Dia de los Muertos, which translates to like Day of the Dead. Um, it's an opportunity for remembrance without a super deep sense of sadness, right? Because they're not here to make you sad. They're here to visit, and you can share memories, and you can kind of understand that connection. And it has very much to do with the life cycle again, like the cycling of the season. So I'm excited to go like into way more detail in the presentation, come talk about where it comes from, talk about how even if you're not from that culture, you can include it in your personal practice and in your personal life, because it's not exclusive, right, to anybody from a certain heritage. I think it's a very flexible practice that
Mm.
anybody can kind of put in. So I'm excited to share that with people and see how they can kind of mold it to something that really works closely with their inner loss, their inner grief, their inner
Mm.
desire to kind of like reconnect with their ancestors in a positive way.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So just tell everyone what we're going to ask people to bring that register for the event so that they can really dive in with you.
So the ofrenda can be as complex or as simple as you want it to be. The very basic items you need are a place for your ofrenda, right? It doesn't have to be like an elevated thing. It could be a spot on your table. You put a cloth on it, whatever your heart desires. A photo of your ancestors, if that's possible. Items that maybe were personal for them or important to you, and candles always. That lights the way, literally, for the spirits to come and visit you. If you've ever seen photos of Dia de Muertos celebrations in the cemeteries and graveyards in Mexico, it is gorgeous. Candles as far as the eye can see, flowers, so all the spirits know where to go.
Mm, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lauren, for sharing your culture with us, for being a part of our Samhain celebration at Wise Transformations Illuminating Your Soul. I can't wait for November 5th and to be with you and Chantal to present our Samhain day.
Thank you. Can't wait to see you.
All right. Take care.
You too.